Good morning.
Good morning.
Goeiemorgen. And this morning we are 1 minute late. And sorry, it's all due to Apple technology, not my side, but on Amanda's side. So this morning we're chatting with Amanda. Amanda, good morning. Let's get you in there. There you are.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Hey, we're all good. We're all good. Sorry, let's put it rather that way.
Yeah, we can see each other. Okay.
All right. Amanda, you've been here in New Zealand for quite a while. And I think a lot of people are thinking or hoping that one day they'll be as long as you guys have been here. But I think they will also know how it was or how it is after this period of time. So how long have you been in New Zealand?
Actually, this month, the end of August, it will be 20 years.
20?
Okay, so I put 16 years.
I thought it was 16.
No.
Misinformation.
We are New Zealand veterans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like furniture. All furniture in New Zealand.
I thought it would be a good idea if I know people are always worried about what your relationship with your parents and your kids' relationship with their grandparents is like when you are away for so long. What influence does it have on your relationship with the people in South Africa? And a few other things that I thought we could just touch. So how old was your kids? I think you only had Alicia when you arrived?
Yes, we only had Alicia. She was 3 years old when we decided to immigrate. So she was 3 when we came to New Zealand.
And she's now?
She's now 23.
And I want to put this out there as well. Amanda still got the same husband that she arrived with. So
yes, I think I don't know who needs the golden medal, but we definitely both deserve medals for persevering. But yes,
yes, and then I want to know, what was your support system like in South Africa when you were still living there? Were you close to your parents, or what was your support system like?
Okay, well, our situation might be different from other people. So I'm just talking about my situation this morning, and then people can decide whether I can relate with it or not. But our situation was, we are a close family, definitely, but we were living miles apart. We had to travel like 800 to 900 kilometers to see my parents. We were living in Port Elizabeth. My sister and her family were in Cape Town. My in-laws were in Vryheid. So we were all far away, but we had grandparents in Port Elizabeth. Our friends were also our support system there, but yes, but I think we had a good support system and we had good relationships with our parents. We still call each other. It was not much different from when it's like how it's now. We still had to do our telephone conversations. And I mean, in those years, we're not so lucky to have live stream or Skype.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just wanting to ask you, how did your kids? Oh, well, she was 3 years old, so it wasn't that much of a adjustment for her then coming to New Zealand.
Yeah, she had a very close relationship with her great-grandparents, my husband's grandparents, and she has asked quite a bit about them. But then we would allow her to talk to them on the telephone and so forth. But talking about her relationships, I think it is absolutely what you as a family decide, what you're going to keep alive and what not. Because the reality is you can have people in South Africa, family close to you, and not have a good relationship.
Yeah, that's a fact, yes.
Yes, I think the main thing is that you are secure in your relationships with your family and you're realistic about it.
Yeah.
And not everybody was supportive of us coming to New Zealand, which was really sad because we thought everybody was going to be happy for us to start a new life. Because for us as a family, things went backwards. We could see that we were financially going backwards. It was harder for George to find a job there. He really struggled because we were like in the beginning of the affirmative action era. And it was just so hard to secure a job. And That was our main reason for coming to New Zealand.
Okay.
And so many people said, family and friends, why does he not just start his own business?
Mm.
But it is hard if you don't have the personality for that.
Yeah.
And you don't have the skills for that, and it's just
Yeah.
not who you are, who you've been created to be, then it is really hard, you know?
Yeah.
And,
So you're talking roughly about the year 2000, 2001, 2002.
that's right.
You guys
That's
left,
right.
yeah.
Yes. We arrived in New Zealand in 2002.
Okay.
So, yeah, so overall the relationships in South Africa, there was a mixture of it. My parents were very supportive and George's parents were supportive, but we had siblings who were not supportive, who believed that we are running away. We are jumping on an airplane and we're running away from all the problems. So we didn't feel supported in that way. And that really saddened us, you know, but we knew that we need to keep our attitudes right and we need to realize why we are doing this. We still love all our family and they still love us.
Yeah.
But not all of them supported us in our decision to come to New Zealand.
And now, do your kids still have a relationship with their grandparents?
They do, not to the extent that I would like them to have, or what I might have had if we were in South Africa. I'm not sure because we're not there, so I can't really tell how it would have been.
Yes.
But I honestly believe that it is the adult's responsibility to keep that relationship alive. And not only us as parents of these kids, but also the grandparents. If they keep on asking, can I talk to so-and-so, or maybe send them WhatsApp messages, that's a wonderful way of just communicating with these kids and just show them that you are still interested in their lives. But yes, my kids do have a relationship with their parents, with their grandparents. Something funny that happened in our family was because Ruben was born in New Zealand.
Yes.
So we still speak Afrikaans at home. But I kid you not one day did I force my children to speak Afrikaans. Okay. I would love to, but I gave them the freedom because I knew that we coming to New Zealand to create a new life, and we came for the kids. So I didn't want to put my desires on my children.
No, it's all about the attitude, right? It's all about the attitude, how you see it. Yes.
And I wanted
I took Ruben with me this weekend on a 4x4 trip, which was a 4x4 day, and although his Afrikaans ain't the best, he has tried speaking Afrikaans because nobody else would speak English to him. So.
Yeah. And look, Afrikaans is, I don't know Ruben so much. He speaks English to me most of the time, but Alicia's Afrikaans is really good.
Yes. But that is what I wanted to say to you. So Alicia is 23. She's living in Canada now. She married a Canadian guy.
Yeah.
And I can see she's starting to struggle with Afrikaans a little bit because she doesn't speak it every day. But when she speaks us on the telephone, she still speaks Afrikaans.
Yeah.
And I honestly think because she wanted to keep it alive, she actually got awards at school for English, because if your kids are bilingual, it is proven that the kids are more accepted to learn more languages. And I'm an early childhood teacher, and we encourage people to keep their language alive. But like I said, I didn't force them. So with Ruben, who was born here, I was so surprised because when he was about 8 years old, we went back to South Africa, and I was worried, is he going to speak English to his cousins and to my parents? And I thought, oh, well, he's going to speak English to them, and that's okay. As long as he can understand them, so he doesn't feel left out in conversations.
Yes.
And we arrived in South Africa, and he is like, "Goeiemôre, ouma and oupa."
Oh.
What's going on here?
I know.
He started to speak Afrikaans to his cousins, and I'm like, "Hey, Ruben, I don't get this. You don't speak Afrikaans to us at home. Why do you speak Afrikaans with ouma and oupa and your cousins?"
Yeah.
Like, because they don't understand English, Mom.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
so
like,
surprising. The kids adjust so easily. We always worry about the kids, but how are the kids going to adjust? But they do it so easily.
I actually think that kids adjust easier than the parents.
I also think so.
for
Much easier.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Something that I found really, really sad, but I won't see it in a negative light because you always have to go back why you are doing this for your
Yes.
kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's like when Alicia was little, my parents came to visit. And my father passed away many years ago. So I had a stepdad. And at that stage, she hasn't met him yet. And she hasn't seen my mom for quite a few years, like a couple of years. And in a young child's life, 2 years is a very long time.
Yes.
And then mom and dad came to visit and they're like, come sit on my lap, give me a hug, give Amma a kissy. And I could see she was very reluctant and that saddened me. But then I realized
She's
they
not
didn't know him. She was saying to me, Mom, you teach us not to hug and kiss strangers. But no, I have to. And I'm like, it's not a stranger, it's your parents. And that was really sad. But then I decided that it's my responsibility to keep that relationship more alive for my parents' sake and for my children's sake.
Yeah. It's hard work, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to put in the effort, yes.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who pops up a lot of questions and stuff, but there's one that stands out for me. Baden van der Wester is asking, does Afrikaans speaking in the house influence them in school?
Positively. It does.
That's a plus.
Yes, definitely positively. My kids sounds like Kiwis.
Yep, they do.
Both my kids did well at school. Well, Alicia did really well at school. Ruben is a 15-year-old boy.
He's a cricket guy.
Yeah, sport is more important than academics. And you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay because I know there are opportunities in New Zealand and he will become who he's going to become.
Yeah.
And the thing is, to answer your question more about Afrikaans, I think it depends on what age your children are coming to New Zealand.
Yes.
Surely it's going to be more difficult for kids who grew up as Afrikaans children. They come here and then intermediate or in college. Primary school kids just adjust so easily. But we do have friends whose children came over as teenagers who's like Afrikaans as can be.
Yes.
And they go to school and they adjust because the school system in New Zealand is so supportive of immigrants. And they do want children to succeed.
Yes.
And they will help children as far as they can.
Yes.
And definitely, I think if you bilingual children is actually doing really well at school. They pick up other languages. It's their thinking skills are just amazing. They can adjust so easily in so many different aspects. I've seen it over the years. I do not think that speaking Afrikaans at home will at all have a negative influence on anybody's academic.
Would you think it's a good thing to talk to kids in English as well if you are Afrikaans normally and coming over to New Zealand, just to try and prepare them for a more an English environment than an Afrikaans environment?
I didn't do that. We still kept our Afrikaans alive at home just because that is the people who we are, not because it was a decision. It's just, it would have felt strange to speak English at home. But what we did was, Alicia was in daycare center, but I've put her in a double medium school.
In South Africa.
Yes, and then and it was really funny because then the teachers would say, "Oh, we just speak Afrikaans to her," and I'm like, "Oh, please speak English to her." And they're like, "Oh, it's so hard." So they end up speaking more Afrikaans to her.
Yeah.
Once we were in New Zealand, oh man, it was not years; it was a few months, and those kids were like, well, she was like fluent.
Yes. Yeah. Amanda, another thing that I wanted to ask you, was it difficult for you to make friends? I know it's not difficult for you as a person to make friends. But was it difficult to find friends in New Zealand coming from a different country? Because there wasn't that many South Africans when you came, eh?
Guys, you don't know how lucky you are that there are so many South Africans now. You do not know how blessed you are. So we came. We had to stay with a family for a couple of months before George got a job, and we moved into our own place. And I can remember between me and Kazan, we didn't know South Africans, maybe 2 or 3 families. And one day we said, maybe we should go to the mall. And then you go in by the one side and I'll go in by the other entrance. And then when we get in the middle of the center, we'll go, hello, how are you? We can just speak our own language and just pretend we know someone else, you know?
Yeah.
And we were laughing about it and stuff, but it actually was really, really hard. I remember I woke up one morning and I was crying, and George is like, oh my gosh, what is it now? And I'm like, I hate it that not even the neighbors can speak Afrikaans. I don't feel like speaking English today. I just feel like speaking Afrikaans. And Alicia went to school, George went to work, and here I am at home.
In your Afrikaans alone.
But then I changed my attitude. It's all about your thinking.
Yeah.
And I was, you know what? I'm in this country now, and I have to make the best of it. Or I have to go back. It's either you're going to make it or you're going to have to go back. But you can't have a bad attitude here. Yeah. You need to change your thinking, and you need to find ways in what you can do to improve your own life. And I only realize I'm a bit slow. So after a year of moaning and groaning and crying, and South Africa is so good and New Zealand is not so good, and this and that, and being a really negative person, my poor husband, maybe he is the one that needs to get a golden medal. I just decided, hey, girl, you need to change your attitude. So I've decided I'm in this new country and I'm going to ground where I was planted, and I started to make friends everywhere. I made friends with Kiwis, with people from England, I had a very good Romanian friend, and I still treasure those relationships. It is beautiful relationships. I think once you get it out of your mind that I can only be friends with South Africans, and you just get into this culture. You just get into all the cultures, because we're a multicultural country. And just make it work for yourself, you know, be the person you are.
Yeah.
And that was when I thought, you know, and I think I'm weird. I'm a weird South African woman. My kids keep on saying to me, our friends think you guys are weird.
Are they wrong?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. But love us or leave us. You know? This is who we are. And let's just enjoy this country together and make the best of it, because we don't, tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah. And another thing, Amanda, you changed your, what is it? Your employment. You changed your career. What did you do in South Africa?
I don't know.
Everything and anything.
I was either stupid or I was very brave, because I'm this Afrikaans stoere boere lady from Pretoria. I struggled with my English. I struggled so much. My kids sometimes think I still can't speak English because of my accent. So yes, in South Africa, I studied business admin, BA. So I was like working in a corporate world my whole life. But in my heart, I always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. And as we all know, in South Africa, unfortunately, some positions are being looked down on.
Yeah.
I can remember it was said to me, you only need spoeg and plak, spit and sticking, glue stick.
Yeah.
And that really discouraged me. And I was like, but I also want a fancy job. I don't want to be just like looked down on, and people are thinking I'm dumb because I'm just an early childhood teacher.
Yeah.
You know what? And then my husband said to me, you know what, Amanda, that's rubbish. Follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. And I thought, why not? And I decided, so I'm studying, and I'm in my 3rd year, and I'm not shy, I'm 51, and I'm going to get my degree soon.
Yes.
I'm busy with my last practicum, I'm busy with my last assignment. I struggled with some of the English. It was a nightmare. Some other people struggle through it because they are English.
Yeah.
But I can do it. And you know what? I feel so good about it.
Yes.
Because I persevered. It was hard for this Sunny to do it. And the thing is, we've got so many possibilities in New Zealand and opportunities.
Yes.
It's there for you. You just have to grab it and do it.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
I know a lot of women, not so many men, but a lot of women that's late 40s, mid 50s that's studying.
I'm busy. Yeah, wait. I'm busy studying, and I'm 51.
Yeah, but to do something totally different from what they used to do.
And it's hectic to study at our age. I promise you.
You
The
can
brain
be
doesn't
so
want
proud.
anymore.
I'm so proud of you. You're almost
Thank
done.
you, Mariska.
Almost done.
So,
Let me see what else I wanted to ask you. You are in the schooling system. You know what it's in the schools, in the school system. You know what it's like. How do you find the schooling system in New Zealand? I know you didn't have that much of a you can't really think of how it was in South Africa. Your kids or Alicia was still small. But how do you find the schooling system? Does it work for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
why?
Because I have put my own expectations aside.
Okay.
I see people in New Zealand, South Africans who are really concerned about the school system. A lot of people decide to do homeschooling, which is good because each child is different and each parent is different, but you do what's best for your family.
Yeah.
So for me, the school system is working because I can see every year kids who are finishing year 13 are still going to university. They still get their degrees. They go on overseas experiences. I don't think it is so hard. Maybe the kids will judge me for saying this, but I don't think it is so hard to get the credits that you need in New Zealand to go to university. But these people still go and they still become successful people. You know? And I think if you just support your kids and trust them, because you're not at school, you haven't been through school in New Zealand, you don't know how it is.
Yeah.
We something personal, for example, is when my daughter was in college, in high school, we had to take her out of school for 1 whole year because of sickness.
Yeah.
And I was concerned that she's going to miss out on so many things.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about her academics? The school was so supportive. And they said to me, you know what? She'll catch up. There's nothing like when you finish with matric, you need to go to university, you get your degree, and then get a job. No.
It's not as stressful.
It's not. Parents, I think, can easily make it stressful because there's a lot of pressure on us to ensure that our kids are going forward in life and they achieve sometimes the parents' goals, not your own goals.
That's a fact,
with Alicia, she was here from kindergarten until she finishes school. She went back to school. They supported her, and it was great. She finished school with a merit endorsement, even though she was a year out of school, which is very good. The school is very, very supportive, yes. And I think in the beginning, I thought, oh my gosh, every time there's a parent-teacher interview, they just say, oh no, it's going well, everything is fine. You don't really hear the facts, like, hey, your child is behind, or your child is average, or this or that, you know. But you can go and find out. But I think it is a matter of trusting the system, because I've seen with our friends' children who has been here for many, many years, they do achieve the credits. They do go to university. It is just, I think, don't put too much pressure on yourself or the children. Just allow them to be.
One quick other question. Someone's asking, how has your experience of the healthcare system been? You can be honest.
Okay, I went through a few ups and downs. I would highly recommend everybody, and Jan didn't tell me to say this, but I say this out of experience, I would get medical insurance for sure. For sure. I don't even hesitate about it. I think get it. We have a basic plan where we can see specialists. If we need surgery, then they will pay the consultation fee and they pay full surgery. And then you go to hospitals, which are like hotels, and you can eat from the menu and you get top class service. If you don't have medical insurance, it's also not the end of the world. Don't panic about it because you can go in the system, but you're going to wait. And that is the thing that, especially when you are older, I would say, if you have to wait for medical care, you can't always wait. Then you have to go private, and then you're going to pay.
Yeah.
And for example, we wanted our child's tonsils to be removed because he got tonsillitis 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
We're like, no, it needs to come out. They didn't want to do it. They say you have to get tonsillitis like 7 or 8 times. So we went private.
Okay.
And the specialist said, take it out, and he took it out. He took it out. So I would highly recommend medical insurance, but it's not bad if you
go through this.
Local general things to the hospital and so forth. It's not bad. I once got surgery, and they actually offered me 6 weeks of having a caregiver in my house. She was cleaning my house. Ruben was still a baby. She had to care for Ruben. Yes, every day. From 9 till 3 every day. And I think that's excellent. And I didn't have to pay a cent for it. That was free.
Yeah. Okay, there's only 1 minute left. So all I want to ask you, if you had to do it all over again, would you?
Absolutely. I would come earlier when I was even younger. Because I'm very excited about the future of this country. I know there's a lot of negative talk going on, but I think we're still privileged to be here. New Zealand is where I want to be.
Well, I think there's still a lot of questions that we can ask, but I know you have to get to school. And South Africans have to go to bed, and we have to go to work. So, yeah. Thank you, Amanda. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You guys have a great day.
Right. I'm just going to pop you out and then say goodbye to the people. Then we'll catch up afterwards.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. That was Amanda all the way from Welcome Bay. Thanks, Amanda, once again. She's been here for 20 years. We had this the initial time wrong, so forgive my wife for that. So
she's my best friend, and I still don't know.
Jeez, I mean, what type of friends did you have? I mean, come on. All right, guys, girls, that's us. We're out of here.
Yeah.
Until next week, same time, same place.
Probably.
All right. See you all, eh?
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah, by the way, it's her birthday on Saturday, so she's becoming 50.
I told him yesterday, you're as old as you feel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 35.
35. Okay. I'll come and feel you later. See ya.
Bye.